Ladies, once again, welcome to the Lenny Robbins YouTube show. I want to say welcome to all Jamaicans wherever you are. Blessed love to you. And this is June the 23rd, 24th of June. Sorry about that. Best wishes to all Jamaicans wherever you are, home or abroad. All Jamaicans. Because it's going to take all of us to make Jamaica a better place than what it is. Not just those who are back home, but all of us and those of us who are in the diaspora and all of that. I want to start this video on a point where I left off on a previous video. Now, what I noticed is that the political rhetoric is getting worse, both from the JLP side and the PMP side. It is getting worse. It is not only worse, it's getting disrespectful, distasteful, and it is so derogatory. It's a crying shame. Now, it is very evident that party discussion does not mean we should be agreeing on everything that we try to discuss. Because we can't. We're talking about politics here, so we cannot agree and will not agree on everything. It is okay to disagree on issues. However, we should be able to discuss and agree on the issues or the important things that are relevant and beneficial to us and to us all. I view this as one of Jamaica's biggest political problems, one of Jamaica's biggest political failings, I should say. We cannot agree on the things that are important to us all. Strangely enough, we are not afraid to disrespect each other in the most derogatory, demeaning, and hateful and disrespectful way, without regards for our failings. When we talk about each other, each political party, leaders, supporters, we don't care about the way we are feeling or what we do, what the negative side of it. We are not afraid. I just want to get that out of the way because it is important to repeat it, because repetition is one of the important tools of learning, one of the important tools of clearing up misunderstanding, because sometimes one has to read something or hear something 3-4 times before you begin to understand what the message is. It's like a movie. Myself, I sometimes have to watch a movie 2-3 times. And each time I watch that movie over and over, I see something and hear something that I did not hear before. And to be honest, I've worked on a lot of movie sets and I see a lot of movies being filmed. And you sometimes, when you watch the movie, even though you're there watching what is happening, when you watch the movie in itself, you see things and hear things that you didn't know occur. So that's what it is. That's how repetition is important. Now I want to get on to something here because I have more than one thing to talk about. That was one. My second issue is I'm getting back to crime. Previously, the Minister of Security and Peace boasted about the big reduction in crime, especially murders, which went down over 45% from 1,139 in 2024 to 673 in 2025. Now, a reduction that, according to the minister, brought a peace dividend to communities across Jamaica. And those communities are now reaping that peace dividend by having safer streets. You understand? Expanding opportunities for the youths in the ghetto and communities. better family lives, improve family lives and relationship. And I want you to remember this. Improved family relationship. Remember this. And better quality of life for all who in those communities. We are now closing out the first half of 2026. Dated today, date June 24, our Daily Gleaner had a headline that reads, Murders edging up in West St. James. Back on crime. My first assessment is whether it is north, south, east, or west, murders are increasing in St. James, not just West St. James. That's what the headline said. The first thing to move your mind away, to detract you from the effect of this issue, increased murder rate. Look how the Gleaner had it. It is increasing in West St. James. Now, if it is increasing in West St. James, it is increasing in North, South, East, and St. James itself. That's my first assessment of the headline. According to the statistic, St. James recorded fewer than 100 murders in 2025. Now listen to this. They recorded more than 100 murders in 2025. Specific numbers was not given as to how many murders. I tried to research it, but it's not available online for me to see. Now I'm going to ask someone, and I figure I know someone I can call, maybe they can get that number for me, because I need to follow up on this. But it says it recorded fewer than 100 murders in 2025. And that number, that fewer than 100 murders, was a number achieved for the first time in 20 years. So from 2005 or 2006 to 2025, it's the first time murders dipped under 100 in St. James. Because when they say fewer than 100, it can be 98, 99, 90. I hear something. Crime statistic also shows that between the St. James crime statistic also shows that between the 1st of January 2026 to the 20th of June 2026, the parish recorded 25 murders. Now listen, 35 murders, not 25. Between the 1st of January 2026 and the 20th of June 2026, St. James recorded 35 murders. And I'm sure those murders weren't all in Western St. James. It is said that 35 is 9 more than the corresponding period in 2025. Therefore, let us go back to 2025. It now means that in 2025, 1st of January to June, 20th of June, let me be very specific as they are, only 26 murders were committed. Now, for the entire year, fewer than 100 was committed. So it means also, from the 20th of June 2025 to the 31st of January 2020 to the 31st of December 2025, let us take 26 from 100, leave us with 74. So what it means is fewer than 74 murders were committed in the last half from June 20th to the 31st of December. Good. In 2025. Now, so far, we're 9 ahead of the figures. That's my analysis of the 2025 figures. how much was committed up to June 20th, and how much was committed between June 20th and the 31st of December, which amounts to fewer than 74. My mathematical explanation here is based on the figures given by the St. James Crime Statistic Department. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not guessing this thing now. I'm putting common sense to this now. I'm not using my common sense to try and determine something. It is based on what the Crime Statistic Department of St. James put out there. Now, can someone explain this for me? How can the tally of 35 murders, as stated by the St. James Police Department, be 15 more than the 22 murders that were committed in St. Andrew, South St. Andrew Police Division? Can someone make that make sense for me? Because I don't understand the mathematics here. And ladies and gentlemen, this may be a misprint, but it may not be. I look at things, I look at it for what you said it is. You understand? I accept what you said. It may be a misprint, but I have to read I have to use the number that is printed. The 35 murders were created thus far because there's an uptick in crime in murders in St. James. Now, 35 so far up to the 20th of June. Murders were committed in St. James, which represent 15 more than the 22 murders that was committed in South St. Andrew. Because St. James is leading in the upsurge of murders. South St. Andrew Division is next, second in line, second behind St. James. Now, if 35 is committed and only 50, you're 15 ahead so that means you now 15 from 35 is 20. So South St. Andrew should have 20 and not 2022, or not 22. That may be a misprint, but I'm accepting the number for what it is. Until proven otherwise, that's how it is. Now, during a sitting of the St. James Municipal Corporation in May of 2026 this year, that was a month before the St. James Crime Statistical Department put out their, our statistic department put out their crime analysis numbers. Senior Superintendent Aaron Samuels, who is the commander for St. James, attributed the 35 killings, to interpersonal dispute. Now, up to June 2026, the 20th, it was 35. By the end of May, they had a meeting. It is said it is 15 more than that of St. Andrew South. Now, hear how he accounts for the 15. Listen this. He didn't account for the whole 35 murders. He accounted for 15 of it. The commander for St. James attributed the killings to interpersonal disputes. He stated that 11 of the killings were classified as interpersonal disputes. Let me go back. Senior Superintendent Aaron Samuels, who is the commander for St. James, attributed the killings to interpersonal disputes. He stated that 11 of the killings were classified as interpersonal disputes. 11. 8 as gang related, 7 committed by criminals. So the 7 and the 8 is 15. Am I to understand that that 15, the 11 that was committed by interpersonal dispute, is not a measurement against what is happening in South St. Andrew South Police Division? The gang related and the criminals murders are the 15 that you have more than the St. Andrew South Police Division. Because those are the only 15 that would bear any relevance to the number that is put out there, Mr. Samuels. From what I'm reading, and it was published in the Gleaner. I'm not conjuring this up, brother. It was in the Gleaner. Now, here is a senior superintendent of police blurring the lines of who is a criminal, blurring the definition, the lines of who is and the line of who is a criminal, as set out by every dictionary and in every sense of the definition of interpersonal dispute. These are disagreements or disputes between two or more individuals arising from difference in goals, values, needs, perspective, your views, your opinions, your suggestions, or whatever argument you have about something. Whenever tension or any discord arises in a relationship or social settings are any relationship as such. For example, domestic violence is an interpersonal dispute. And as I said, whenever tension or discord arises in any relationship or social settings, there's going to be dispute. Arises from that, coming out of that is interpersonal dispute. These disputes can and will happen in any context, such as at school, workplace, as I said, families, friendship, in romantic relationship. The example I gave earlier was domestic violence. I'm saying all of this because I want Mr. Samuels to understand that giving information on policing and murders and crime reports, and these are serious matters, sir. These are not a joke thing. These are serious matters. These shouldn't be designed to bamboozle people thinking or understanding. These are serious issues that must be taken, and transparency and honesty must be put out there. Because what we are lacking in Jamaica, we don't seem to understand. None of us take into consideration how serious the fear of crime is in the country. How serious the fear of crime is in Jamaica. Crime affects individuals, individual family, or specific set of people. But the fear of crime affects the entire communities, entire Jamaica. And we don't seem to take that into consideration, sir. The definition I gave for interpersonal disputes are, as you call them, sir. I don't know how you arrived at that decision. And let me go back to the 25 murder figure that you said fewer than 100 murders were committed in St. James. How many of those murders were interpersonal disputes? Because so far in 6 months, we have 11 murders that is classified in your division as interpersonal disputes. And in your presentation, in your meeting that what you had with the St. James Municipal Corporation in May, I hear you raise nothing about the mental issue and the mental problem that arises as a result of this interpersonal dispute. Because in Jamaica, we fail to see gun crimes as a mental issue. It is. And if murders comes out through because of, as the context of it, as the definition said, it happens in any context, workplace, school, social settings, families, friendship, relationship. These are all mental issues, Mr. Samuel. And I don't know how many murders were committed last year that can be classified as interpersonal relationship. And if it didn't raise your concern last year and it didn't raise your concern this year, it is telling us that these things are really not important to you people. Well, let me not come down too hard on that, sir, because I don't think police are trained to understand the mental side of gun crime or the mental side of crimes. I don't think police are trained to understand that crimes is also a mental issue, a mental problem. It's a mental health problem. And this interpersonal classification you brought up, sir, shine lights on the mental health side of crime, gun crime, and especially gun crime. It's a mental thing. And it cannot be fight by shooting your way out of crime. It cannot only be fight by arresting your way out of crime. Everything at the government disposal and citizens disposal and the country's disposal must be brought to the fore, to the plan, to the table. Because crime fighting plans must be as broad-based as the community, in the sense that every aspect of people's life of the of winning the battle must be brought to bear. Consideration must be given to everything. Those who alone can't stop crime, and it has never stopped it. For years, sir, I've seen it, because this Zozo thing has been going on in Jamaica for years. I remember I went to Montego Bay somewhere around 2016, 2017. I was going up to Mount CLM to check someone, look for someone. And there was a Zozo or zone of state of emergency and all of them things there going on. One hell to get through. One hell to get through. We got through, went to Where, and by a week later, it was on the news. Gunman shoot people just a couple feet away from the same Zozo area that we went through a week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks before. These are things should tell us that gun crime is more than just squeezing the trigger. It's also a mental health issue, and if we're not taking our life serious and the country's and people's life serious, you cannot shoot your way out of every gunman. You cannot kill every gunman you think you can kill. And I've said before, and as I've said before, if the government does not put in place the social infrastructure to prevent the youth that are coming up from falling into violence, gang related, scamming, all kind of unconventional lifestyle, if something is not put in place to prevent that, Mr. Samuels, I'm sorry for you guys. You guys gonna work until the day you come, you just go home. And when you look back, you're gonna say, wow, all I get out of this pay, all I get out of this job is my salary and my pension. What's the point? I'm not bashing you really, Mr. Samuels, but you gotta come better than that. I mean, you can't talk for talk's sake. These days are done, buddy, when people talk for talk's sake. And this is why the country is in such an uproar. As I've said it in a video before, when you listen to the people talk and the way they are describing leaders of the country, both JLP leaders and PMP leaders, come on, Golden, don't think you and your party getting away from it. Because you people are not even making any real sense either. You're trying to clutch a straw. Everything your party is doing is to prove that the JLP is corrupt, the JLP is corrupt, the JLP is corrupt. But notice, you're talking and your party's talking, and listen to all of you guys talking, but nobody's offering solutions. You're making your party a vibrant opposition, but not a viable one. What is happening is the party is becoming vibrant, but not viable. Not a real choice against the JLP. So, people are not gravitating to what is happening, how the discourse and the discussion is going on in Jamaica. Because nobody is giving me an idea what they can do better than the JLP, or what difference would you make than the JLP. That is what people want to hear. People are now voicing their concern for the bread and basket concern. How will my life better if you come to the 4 PMP? Tell us, what options do you have? What options will I have if I vote for the PMP and you come to power? How will my life be better? What will you do about the cost of living? What can you do to bring back the Cuban delegation to Jamaica, medical delegation to Jamaica? And what will you do to stop the, what do you call it? the MOU that the JLP government signed with America to have people transitional deportee passing through Jamaica? What would different? These are the things people want to hear from the PMP, Mark Golden. People don't want to hear Andrew Wolin is a liar and this and that and all of these things. That don't benefit no one. What is going to benefit us is for the PMP to come to the fore and say, listen, this is what the government is doing and we think it is wrong. This is what we will do and make a big difference in your life. Prove your point. Don't just be there making noise become, and that's all is happening. All the people on both sides of the fence, both sides of the JLP, both sides of JLP and PMP, all you guys are doing is making noise. Where's the solution? Where is the solution coming from? Nobody knows. People are chafing at the bit. PMP is going to win the next election and PMP this and PMP that. But where is what has the PMP said to you to make you certain your life will be better when they come to fore? It is time we stop throwing our confidence in just political parties. It is time we now start to stand up for Jamaica. Be Jamaicans. The rhetoric that PMP will come to the fore and make my left is neither here nor there. There's no concrete proof of anything. You can't promise that. Mark Golden cannot promise it, but at least they can present viable options to us and allow us to make the decision whether the country to make the decision whether to continue with the current administration or vote them out and get in the PMP. All the neither year people are talking about Andrew Holness to go dead and Andrew Holness for this and him go to hell and this and that and the wickedest man God ever created and all of these things. None of you people have ever seen wicked people have been lived under the ruler or the rule of a wicked man. None of you people are saying that. But yet here you are. At the same time, you're cursing out one man as the wickedest man you have ever seen. Wickedest Prime Minister Jamaica ever seen. Wickedest this, wickedest that. The same thing goes enough for Mark Golden. People say the same thing about him. He's not even born in Jamaica. Not even a Jamaican. The same thing is said about him. But Andrew Holness is in the seat doing what they are doing and doing what he thinks is best for the country. So the people who are not in agreement with it, let me hear your options. What are you suggesting, Mark? What would you suggest that the leader of the current Prime Minister do different? What can he do different to make Jamaica a better place? Not just make Jamaica a better place, but to instill confidence in you, in people. Because for me, honestly, I say the people have lost confidence in the administration. But I can't say confidently or with any certainty that the people understand what is happening. I can't say that. Because the political biasness and division is so cultured. We are so cultured to talk about politics in such a way and look at politics in such a way that maybe we are missing a lot of good stuff that is happening around us. So what I want to hear from the PMP, whatever you want to call yourself, is please give us some action. Give the government some action. If you're talking about the development and the growth of Jamaica and you want to a better life and better quality life for yourself, your community and your families and all of these things, then and more affordable way of life, then talk about what we should do and can do for Jamaica. Force your party to tell us what they can do differently. Not to come to Parliament and say the Prime Minister was not open about so and so and so. Yes, he's not open. We all know that and explain to see he's not open about the program, the MOU that he signed. The nation was not informed about it. He's not very transparent about it. All of that is real. But what can you do different, PMP? What would you have done differently? Not under that circumstances, under any other circumstances. Even under the Melissa circumstances. But the resources that you get, knowing the state of your economy, what would you do with the resources that you got? Would you just throw it out there and give everybody, and when it's over, what happens after that? What happens after that? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, but like I said, repetition for me, as far as our political culture in Jamaica is concerned, is one of the best tools. We here at the Watch What They Do, Lennie Robbins YouTube channel, Know Your Politics, let's come together to create a better understanding, has to our disposal. Repetition. And we're going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating, because it's important for people to understand clearly what is happening in our lives politically, and how we can help governments to become better. Because if we're here only to curse, JLP won the election, they're in power. And if we're only here to curse out the JLP that they're not doing anything for the nation, and when they vote them out and PMP comes in, and then another set of people is skirting out the PMP, they are the wickedest and they are never good for the country, and why they don't know people. Where are we heading as a Jamaican? What are we doing to ourselves? Can someone tell me? If someone makes sense of that for me. Can someone make sense of that for me? I made a comment about something that I saw on YouTube and a gentleman responded to it. Oh, PMP this and PMP that, and I must pack up and go to Africa. All I could say to him, listen, brother, one day you'll realize. My response to him was, one day you'll wake up and realize. Please check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because if you think PMP alone is going to make this Jamaica a better place, or JLP is going to make it a better place. All of you people are deluding your own self. You're not fooling anyone. You're fooling your own self. If we the people don't force changes, it will never come and won't come. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is a little bit longish, but sometimes this is what it takes to get your point across. And I want to say, for those who have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. We welcome all our supporters. We give thanks to everyone who is supporting us so far. And we look forward to your continued support, and we're looking forward to our growth and development as well. Because we want to take this channel to the highest level. Because this is about building Jamaica. It's about building Jamaica. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, let me point out something here which is very important in closing. The Prime Minister, Mark Golding, other dignitaries, Canada, England, all over the world, concerned Jamaicans, are asking and begging for people in the diaspora to come home. To come home and help build Jamaica. Why? Why? The PMP know they can't do it alone. The JLP know they can't do it alone either. It's going to take us to do it. And why are they forcing us and begging us to come back home? To create a new generation, to invest in Jamaica, to bring our expertise, our experience, our knowledge, everything, bring it back to Jamaica and help Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to come together and get our senses out of the party, whatever it is you want to call it. But we really need to get our heads out of the party this and JLP this and PMP that, and start to understand that Jamaica doesn't belong to PMP, Jamaica doesn't belong to JLP, and neither does politics. It's labeled PMP politics, or it is labeled JLP politics. To the people's politics. Let us rise and shine and give God the glory. We deserve a lot better. We deserve a lot better. Mark G and the PMP, so far you've been a vibrant. I've been calling for the past couple of years for the PMP or whichever party in the opposition to present themselves as a vibrant, viable political party. But so far, sir, the PMP is only showing itself as a vibrant political party, not a vibrant choice, not a viable choice to the JLP. You gotta come with solutions. Come with solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the LennieRobbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding by watching what our politicians do and what they say. As I've always said, their existence is never threatened. Their existence is never in question. It is us, the people. It is us, the people. And the leader of the government so far, Andrew Holness, whatever this directive or whatever discussion goes down between the government and America, his existence is not threatened. With all of you guys calling out and crying out that this is that and all sort of rubbish and Andrew Holness need to this and Andrew Holness need to do that. Remember this. The decision was made. His existence is not threatened. His government existence is not threatened. It is we the people. Those who are crying, we the people. Government failed to do one thing, transparent, to be transparent with the people. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the LennieRobbins YouTube channel. Let's come together to create a better understanding for all Jamaica, one and all. Thank you. Blessed love.